which is like, like I was thinking the other day, I always play, like on Christmas Eve, I always play Kind of Blue, Miles Davis record, on Christmas Eve, because I always feel like it's a Christmas Eve recording for some reason. Does anybody else feel like that?
Miles Davis seems like it goes, yeah.
But I mean, just that particular record seems very like gray and like Christmas Eve. And then it's great because that's all I listen to all day, and I never have to hear it again for the whole rest of the year. You know what I mean? Because it's
one of those traditions, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those traditions.
That's great. Can you tell me a little bit about your new record, Till the Light Comes? Like, sort of the record, like where did you record it?
We recorded it here in San Francisco. Tim Bloom, myself, and our partner David Simon Baker, we have a studio in the Mission, which we've had for about 4 years now. So we did. It's cool to me because it's the first record I've done of my stuff that's all been done in like our own place. We didn't really have any like outside label people poking in or anything. We sort of just did it on our own time, and it's sort of like it sort of feels relaxed, to me in that way. So.
That's great. How's the response been to it? I mean, 'cause it's different than other things you put out.
Yeah, so. I don't know. Once the record's done and it goes out into the world, I usually like for about two or 3 weeks or up to a month after it initially comes out, I'm concerned with how it's doing. After that, I don't care because it's you're just on to something else and it does whatever it does, and I bet it's probably sold like. It's probably sold more than 20 copies, but probably less than like 200,000, I would say.
A couple more than 20, yeah.
But not a lot more than 20, I don't think.
I think you're selling yourself short, but. How's the touring been this winter?
Well, we've had most of the winter off. We did a really long summer thing with Gov't Mule, which was fantastic. Wonderful band. Like the crew's great, the band is great, obviously, and we played like, mostly the South, and it's like incredibly hot and humid, and like if you've never been to Memphis or like Mobile or Birmingham in like the middle of the summer, then you haven't experienced true heat.
Yeah. It's hard to play those clubs. I mean, it's like
it's really hot. And so we did that, and then we did pretty much all through summer and fall, and then we've had a lot of the winter off. We did. I just turned 30, actually, believe it or not.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. And we did last show we did was here in San Francisco at the Fillmore, the 30th birthday party, which was a lot of fun.
Nice. I know a lot of our readers are probably interested in your work with Phil and friends. And I understand that you weren't really that familiar with the Dead before Phil contacted you.
That's true,
Can you tell me sort of how he found your music and how
Well, I think Phil probably tells the story a little bit better, but from what I understand is that what I remember being at Bonnaroo and someone saying, "Oh, yeah, Phil Lesh is here to see you. He's in the audience. He's watching." And I was like, "Really?" I mean, I knew who he was, but I wasn't really like all that super familiar with Grateful Dead stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I don't hear from him or for a while, and then and literally out of nowhere, he calls me on the phone, and he says, "Jackie, this is Phil. I would like you to come to the studio, and let's make some songs together, and let's jam." I was just like, okay,
Really can't say no to that.
Yeah, I was like, right. Kind of at first I was like, this isn't. Who is this?
Yeah, that's.
Who is this imposter? But it was cool, and so he came out to actually our studio, and we hung out, and I actually, I will say, and I want to go on record saying that I bought Phil dinner the first time. He's bought me dinner ever since then. It's a good investment.
You got the first one right.
It's a great investment. But I think he heard "I'm So Gone" or one of the songs that he's playing on the radio, and he liked it, and that's how he found out. And no, I had I knew like Working Man's Dead and American Beauty, but I didn't really know
the breadth of their catalog.
A lot, yeah, and I didn't realize how far it went, and it's such wonderful music, and to this day I find myself finding really cool new things to learn about that music. And just the other day I'll put on like Mars Hotel, which is like my favorite Dead record right now, and just sort of like just lay down and listen to it. It's great stuff. You know? Obviously, everybody knows that. I was a little late in the.
Usually, when people find them, you know, they get in like on one record, then it opens up the entire you know, catalog. Right. What were some of the challenges to playing that music to these longtime Deadheads that?
Well, I think, you know, it's interesting because I think the biggest challenge, but also like maybe what was actually cool about it was like it was sort of my job to sing most of the songs, a lot of the songs, and a lot of the times, like, I'd be I'm the guy who's singing them, and I'm the guy who knows them the least, right. You know, out of probably everybody there, like, including especially the audience. And it's like,
you got that killer voice though. So.
But I think what made it kind of cool is that it was like refreshing a little bit. It was fresh because it's like it's almost like a new song now because it's new to me, you know, and so. You know, I think that worked out really well.
It breathes new life into it. Yeah, for sure.
Totally.
Well, can you? I mean, kind of just to wrap up. Do you want to speak to any projects or anything you have on the horizon for 2011?
Well, probably a lot of touring. Hopefully, I've been writing a lot of new stuff. So, hopefully, maybe do. You know, I'm not sure if I'm gonna ever make another record or not. As far as like a record, I might be. Done making records.
Really?
But yeah, I know. Well, we can talk about that later. But we'll just leave it at that. And you know, take that how you want it, people. And some people are like, "Great, man! I can't stand his records. I don't want him to ever make another record." But it doesn't mean I'm not gonna like make a bunch of songs and throw them out there.
Yeah, so, there you go. It's like the wave of the future, anyway. So.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by, and the session was great, and thanks for spending some time talking to us.
Can I have my hat back now?
Sure.
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
You know, I was going to steal it, but.
All right. Cool.
Thanks a lot. That's it.